Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us here at GBTA's annual business meeting. Appreciate everyone taking their time today. I'm Denise Truso, President of the Board of Directors of Global Business Travel Association. And under our bylaws and as a 501c6 nonprofit organization incorporated in the state of New York, GBTA holds an annual meeting for members where we publish our audited financials for the preceding calendar year. In today's meeting, we'll be outlining the association's financials as of year ending 2022 and highlight the results from our 2022 calendar year. Please note that this full presentation will be posted and available under the About section on gbta.org after today's meeting. On behalf of our current board of directors, I also wanted to take a minute to thank all of you who have volunteered, contributed, and taken part in the GBTA community. As your board, we serve as the governing body of the association and are committed to guiding its focus and direction. We help shape the organizational strategic goals for GBTA and the mission to have a long-term positive impact on our industry and our profession. Our industry is truly a connected one, and our goal is to serve the needs of our members, partners, and stakeholders who make up the mosaic that is the business travel industry around the world. Coming into 2022, the board and the GBTA leadership outlined 4 key areas of focus for our association. With the pandemic still present and evolving, the status of the global business travel required that we stay focused on the rebound of the industry from COVID-19. The same held true for the continued journey of the association. Our focus was to continue to reimagine and recreating GBTA, bringing back in-person and highly valued programs and services for our members, while also creating longer-term strategies and initiatives to serve the future of our industry and our stakeholders. Sustainability became a significant priority, not only for GBTA, but also for our industry, people, and the planet. It was a year where the emphasis was our first ever sustainability insights, action, and impact. And professional development remained an important core area for GBTA. As the industry and the business travel evolved since 2020, we recognized that learning and education would continue to be paramount. Helping travel professionals navigate the changes, challenges, and opportunities were critical. For those both highly experienced as well as those just entering our industry. Today, we're excited to recap and spotlight some of the results and impact of those approaches. These strategies set up GBTA for success in the year 2022 and the years ahead. With the strategies and work we did in 2022, we find ourselves more resilient, more strong, and a stronger association. We continue to expand our global footprint, grow our membership, and serve the many constituents in our industry. And our $1.2 trillion sector continues to be on the rebound. And we do this through our core pillars: community, learning, and advocacy, which we solidified and revealed in 2022 at our GBTA annual convention. Thank you to all of you who continue to support and drive the ongoing evolution of GBTA and our industry. With that, I'd like to turn our presentation over to Suzanne Newfung, CEO of GBTA. Suzanne, go ahead and take it away.
Thanks, Denise. We're so grateful to you for your board leadership through these critical and pivotal years of the association. You've helped create such a perfect bridge from old to new GBTA, and we certainly appreciate your vision and precision in board leadership since early 2021. Thank you for your service. So everyone, let's get started with a look at the calendar year 2022, the state of the association, key membership metrics, as well as the organization's financial status. I'll also highlight key accomplishments in what was a critically productive and purposeful year for GBTA. So here's a view of GBTA by the numbers. In terms of global membership, In 2022 versus 2021, we increased membership by 2% to 7,110 individual members from 6,975 the year before. And as a side note, as of today in 2023, here at the end of July, GBTA's membership has just surpassed 8,000. So we are definitely heading in the right direction. Back to 2022, though, a few other interesting membership metrics to note. We saw an increase of 5 percentage points in our retention rate year over year compared to 2021 to 67% retention. Our regional membership split remained relatively consistent year over year in 2022, 59% in the US, 39% in EMEA, Canada at 8% and 1% each in LATAM and APAC. In terms of buyer-supplier membership ratios, we gained back supplier members at a faster rate than buyer members, which makes sense because supplier teams were impacted more heavily in 2020 and 2021 than buyer organizations. So while membership was a 50-50 split in 2021 between buyers and suppliers coming out of the pandemic, in 2022, the association normalized to 43% buyer or direct members and 57% supplier or allied members. We were also actively serving this membership community with impactful education offerings, providing over 350 hours of learning opportunities, delivering 93 events, training, and academy courses in several regions, and reaching over 14,000 constituents real-time in these educational settings. Next, here's an overview of GBTA's Association 2022 audited financials. As of December 31st, 2022, GBTA's assets equated to $15.1 million and liabilities $6.5 million, resulting in a healthy net asset balance of $8.6 million. This is $11.3 million better than 2 years earlier in 2020 due to the pandemic insurance proceeds, which we received after that first pandemic year. Compared to 2021, our net assets in 2022 decreased by a $1.1 million fund due to two main reasons. First, we exited our long-term Alexandria, Virginia office lease, which included a one-time termination fee reflected in these 2022 financials. However, we resulted in over $2.5 million in net savings from that lease removal over the remaining lease term. And second, as I'm sure many of you also experienced with investments or retirement plans in 2022, GBTA's reserves invested in equity and fixed income assets experienced a $1.3 million net loss, or approximately 11%. Fortunately, we still have a very strong reserves balance, currently valued at over $12 million. Overall, in 2022, GBTA generated $18 million in revenue and $19.1 million in expenses, with that $1.1 million due to those one-time expenses, as I just described. On an operational performance basis, without these one-time charges, in 2022, GBTA achieved greater than break-even results as we and the rest of the industry continued to overcome post-pandemic impacts. So now let's move from the numbers to look at some of the milestones that rounded out the year 2022 for GBTA. And I'll start with the new brand. Last year, GBTA took an in-depth look at who we are, what we stand for, and what our constituents want most from us. As a result, we launched our new GBTA brand with a new tagline, Many Voices, One Purpose. And as Denise outlined earlier, we elevated the three pillars that you told us mattered most: community, learning, and advocacy. You'll see the new brand and these key themes throughout the upcoming GBTA convention in Dallas and at our regional conferences and events going forward. The new brand also signifies that around the corner and around the world, our GBTA community is diverse and engaged. It's through professional development and network building, along with advocating for policies that support our industry's well-being, that we, together with our many voices, foster an even stronger and more sustainable future for the global business travel industry. Implementing the new brand experience for our users was a tremendous undertaking for our team. Working as a small team and with a partner agency, we created the new GBTA brand in just 6 months, I also want to thank the dozens of you who spoke to us as part of our baseline research, and thanks as well to the board for their full support along this journey. As you can see, we transitioned over 1,500 existing GBTA assets in many channels, content which we use to communicate, inform, and engage with you. My thanks to our marketing team who made these transitions possible. They flipped the switch overnight during our convention in San Diego last year. By the way, we've also been working to simplify the information architecture across our web assets throughout this process, which we will continue to focus on to make GBTA's insights and education more readily accessible and searchable going forward. Our 5 websites with over 430 pages resulted in nearly 2 million page views in 2022 alone. Next, let's review our year in events, part of the important community pillar. 2022 marked the significant return of face-to-face meetings, events, and conferences. Like many organizations, GBTA has been operating with substantially fewer staff compared to 2019. With board and constituent support, we actually delivered more within a 12-month period last year in 2022 than GBTA had delivered in all of 2019, with nearly twice as many team members. Thus, I'm so proud of our team, our volunteers, and our sponsors for what we accomplished to get both the association and the industry back on its way to a full recovery. Next, let's review the learning pillar. In 2022, GBTA continued to empower professional development through our education and research. We served over 300 committed Academy learners, awarded over $120,000 in scholarships, and celebrated 61 new global travel professional certifications. We also returned to a rigorous research publication schedule, delivering 42 research reports, industry outlook polls, and industry-focused projects, such as our extensive annual business travel index. The new edition, by the way, is coming out in just a couple of weeks in Dallas. And with our third pillar, GBTA's ongoing advocacy efforts brought together the association's many voices to influence and effect change in Washington, Brussels, Ottawa, and beyond. In June of 2022, GBTA testified in its second US Senate hearing within 9 months on the impact travel restrictions were having on our industry. And we were so pleased when days later, the US lifted inbound negative COVID testing requirements. Equally important, in Europe, GBTA conducted a series of meetings in the spring and fall with EU policy decision makers in Brussels. To amplify the voice of the business travel industry in 2022, GBTA issued over 30 issues papers, consultations, and positions on a variety of subjects, all to promote global business travel as a responsible, sustainable growth generator. Specific advocacy areas on which we focused in 2022 were these. In Europe, we pushed for standardization of emissions accounting to create not just a European standard, but the potential to set a global standard. As a part of our core global mission of promoting infrastructure investment, we called for greater access to various modes of transportation and the simplified booking of air and rail in a multimodal trip. And in Brussels, our GBTA Europe Conference and Sustainability Summit hosted 5 officials from the European Union who engaged with our constituents on stage and in education sessions. In the US, over 100 GBTA members participated in our annual US Legislative Summit, where we lobbied on Capitol Hill to lift pandemic travel restrictions and boost the production of SAF through critical government programs. And in Canada, GBTA hosted roundtables with government officials to remove pandemic travel restrictions and drive sustainability opportunities. Through all this, our message to policymakers has remained consistent that sustainably managed business travel is a driving force for good for businesses, governments, economies, and people. And with the final milestone, which I'll highlight today, in 2022, we relaunched the GBTA Foundation, whose purpose is to create lasting positive impact for people and planet in the sphere of business travel. Under the foundation umbrella, we placed our already successful people-related initiatives, GBTA Win It and GBTA Ladders, as well as our new sustainability-related initiatives launched just months earlier. The GBTA Foundation is led by Delphine Milot, who joined GBTA at the beginning of 2022, and we're thankful for the leadership and work of our new foundation board of directors, chaired by Paul Abbott of Amex GBT. One of the major marks the foundation made last year was to deliver the industry's first landmark study on the state of sustainability in the global business travel sector. It now sets the pace for learning and industry development and opportunities that have continued from there. And with the launch of the GBTA Foundation, we have recommitted to delivering an annual foundation progress report, which reflects the positive impacts which the GBTA Foundation and its industry donors are having on this industry and beyond. Our first report on 2022 was released this past spring and is available online. So let's shift now from looking back to looking at what's ahead for the rest of this year and beyond at GBTA. At GBTA, the board and our team see the path forward as one focused on the positive and sustainable state of the industry, our people, planet, and purpose. Our key strategies for 2023 reflect that commitment. We're continuing to rebuild and advance not only the association, but also the industry at large. We're staying focused on what our members need most, while also growing membership itself. We're putting the G in GBTA and bringing business travel, professional learning, community, and advocacy to more regions throughout the world. We're leading with sustainability via the Foundation's People and Planet focus to help guide our industry to new horizons. And we're committing to multi-regional industry advocacy as the common thread throughout. While these are our priorities for 2023, they continue to build on what the association has already accomplished, while also looking at the opportunities and needs ahead. With our annual GBTA convention just around the corner, here are just a few things for you to look forward to in Dallas. Our format is Sunday late afternoon through Tuesday evening, which is a change. It creates a more compact, more effectively programmed week to maximize attendee ROI, something we've been asked to do for many years. We again offer 10 hours of uninterrupted expo time over these 3 days, this year beginning on Sunday evening when everyone is fresh. We have more than 90 education sessions to choose from, all with great content, as well as 4 business-focused main stages, which feature learnings from TED Talk level keynote speakers, as well as insights from top industry executives and practitioners. Building community learning and advocacy means a full schedule across 4 major global regions well beyond convention. Here's what's left in our 2023 calendar, including in September, GBTA's first APAC conference held in Singapore. In October, our Project Crew Teams Travel Summit in New Orleans, as well as the Win It Summit and Gala in Brooklyn. And in November, our Europe conference in partnership with BDR in Hamburg. And here's also a sneak peek of what is already in the lineup and underway for you in 2024. To note, our Mexico conference moves to early April, Canada conference to late April, and APAC conference in Singapore to May, with convention moving to July. It's a packed second and third quarter. I hope you can join us. Ultimately, GBTA members, sponsors, and volunteers are what set us apart. We couldn't have achieved the rapid recovery from 2020 without you and all of your support. So thank you. As a member-driven association, you're both the how and why of what we do. This concludes the GBTA annual business meeting for this year. The board, our teams, and I look forward to seeing you very soon. Safe and healthy travels to all of you. Thank you.